Hey Ava, so I'm just gonna run through these problems with you quick. The first one, so it's just to put it in standard form. That just means the highest exponent comes first, then the second highest exponent, and third, and so on and so forth until you don't have any terms left. The important thing here is that the sign goes along with the number. So my highest exponent, you should see, is the squared. So I'm not just gonna move this, I'm gonna move the 4x squared with the sign in front of it. So this whole thing goes out front. So I'm going to get negative 4x squared. Okay, next up is going to be 2x, because that's the next highest number of x's, plus 2x. And last is minus 3. So again, what we did is we looked at what is the highest amount of x's that we have. I looked at this, I looked at this, and I looked at this. The one with the yellow on it, that has the highest amount of x's, so that comes first. The blue has the second highest most of x's, that only has one x. And the green one, that one doesn't have any x's, so that one goes last. Okay, next up, it asks for the leading coefficient. Think about what it means to lead. It means to be in front. So in standard form, what's in front? What number is in front? Negative 4. That's it. Okay, next up it says to classify by degree. So this is from the 10.1 day 1 video. I think I talked about this on there for about 3 or 4 minutes. So the degree is the highest exponent. So my highest exponent is 2, but what that tells me is there's a special name for this. Since the highest exponent is 2, this is a quadratic equation. It's just a name to classify it. It's a special name. The important part is knowing that it's the highest exponent is 2. Okay, last up is the number of terms, and that's the number of things separated by a plus or minus sign. So I have 1, 2, 3 different terms. I have x squared, x, and just a number. So this is x squared, this is just x, and this is my number. There's 3 different types of numbers here. So I have 3 terms. And again, this is from the 10.1 day 1 notes. I talked about this for a while on there as well. There's a special name for that. This is a trinomial then. Okay, these two aren't that important, to be honest. Let's move on to number 2. Number 2, you did the first step correctly. You distributed correctly. You said 3x times 2x squared is 6x to the third. 3x times negative 6x is negative 18x. 3x times 3 is plus 9. Oh, excuse me. I made a mistake here. Let's go back. Whoop. Pretend I never said that. So 3x times 6x is minus 18x squared. It's early. Sorry about that. And then last, you're going to do 3x times 3 is plus 9x. You have this written down on your sheet. And this is actually the final answer. What you did on your quiz, though, Ava, is you went in and you said, oh, well, I can combine these two, right? 6x to the third minus 18x squared, and I get negative 12x squared. You can't do that, though, and let me explain why. You can't do that because this one has an x to the third, and this one has an x squared. We can only add and subtract things if they have the same number, or same letter, same letter with the same exponent. So they both have x's. This one has an x, this one has an x. That's okay. However, with that being said, the first one, the one that's highlighted with green, that one has a 3. This one has a 2, so you can't combine those at all. They are not like terms. So this is your final answer, actually. 6x to the third minus 18x squared plus 9x. The next one, I believe you did correct. So let's just go down to number 4. Now, number 4, you kind of did things the same way. When we go through and distribute this, you get 3x to the third. That's what you had. Great. Times negative 6x squared. That's what you have. Great. Next up, 3x times 3 is plus 9x. And again, you have that, so that's good. Next up is plus 2x squared. And you have that. Next up, it is minus 4x. And then last but not least, it is plus 6. And you have this exactly on your screen. You just combined your like terms incorrectly, which is a good thing. Okay, so now what we need to do is figure out what are like terms, and I'll highlight all the ones that are like with the same highlighter. So like terms have the same letter to the same exponent. So this has an x to the third, and it's actually the only thing with an x to the third. So this just drops down. I have 3x to the third. Why are they all like, why is it the only term like that? Well, this one has a squared. This one has an x. This one has a squared. This one has an x. And this one has a number. So the ones that are underlined in blue, those are like terms, and I can add and subtract those together because they both have an x squared. They both have an x squared. I can't do that with my yellow and my blue one because they have different exponents. So what I'm saying is I can't combine this term with this term because of the exponents. I have an x to the third and an x squared, so I can't combine those. So let's do my two blue ones next. So what is negative 6x squared plus 2x? Or what's negative 6 plus 2? You should get negative 4, and then x squared just hops on down with it. So this comes from my blue. This comes from my yellow. Okay, next up, let's do our green ones. Well, we have 9x minus 4x. Well, 9 minus 4 is plus 5, but then an x drops down, plus 5x. And last but not least, our plus 6.